Hello, I'm Vincent Scorza, Senior Vice President at Bank of America, Certified Financial Planner, and a congregant at Church by the Sea. This series is designed to help you take control of your money and get ahead in 2021. Today's session is about financial safety. I'm going to jump into the slides here. So let's talk about safety. We're going to talk about keeping your money safe today, specifically fraud and identity theft, including the difference between the two and why it's important to protect yourself from both. 2, how to protect yourself and stay financially safe. And 3rd, what to do if fraud or identity theft happens to you, including some step-by-step instructions. So both fraud and identity theft are acts of deception, often for financial gain, and they're both illegal. You can suffer financial loss from both fraud and identity theft, and setting your finances straight afterwards can be time-consuming. Fraud is typically a one-time theft. For example, someone steals your credit card number to make purchases or tricks you into giving him or her money for a service or product that the person never provides. Identity theft is different. Identity theft is when someone pretends to be you by using your personal information. So, for example, someone might pretend to be you and open a bank account or a credit card in your name. It's important to protect yourself from fraud and identity theft because both can cause significant financial loss. After you work hard to earn your money, budget, and build your savings, suffering a loss due to fraud or identity theft seems so unfair, and it can be hard to recover from either one. Now let's watch a video that gives you some more details about both fraud and identity theft and review some techniques to protect yourself from both.
Two tickets to Paris, a week at a very fancy hotel. Oh, and dinner and fine wine to match. Ooh la la, what a vacation. The only problem? You've never been anywhere near France, but a credit card with your name on it has been. It looks like you might be one of the millions of Americans who've experienced fraud or identity theft. But even if it's never happened to you, it's always good to know how to protect yourself. Just a few decades ago, credit card fraud and identity theft were things that people rarely thought about. But today, there's a greater risk we could end up as victims. What's more, identity theft costs businesses and consumers billions of dollars each year, and that doesn't even include credit card fraud. Before we get into protecting yourself, let's talk about what differentiates fraud from outright identity theft. An example of fraud is when someone uses your credit card to make purchases, and while the charges for a new laptop that you've never bought are nothing to sneeze at, they pale in comparison to what a stolen identity can do to your life. Identity theft is a little more complex. It's someone pretending to be you who has somehow gotten hold of your personal data, like your social security number, birthday, or passwords, and has the intention of passing himself off as you. A thief will use your name and other information to commit fraud by opening up credit cards and loans in your name. They may even commit other crimes and use your name when they get caught. It's not hard to see why having your identity stolen can be a disaster for your finances, your credit, and even your good name. So, what can you do? A lot more than you think. While there is no way to keep your information completely safe, there are many things you can do to protect yourself from both the high-tech thieves and the guys picking through your trash. Here are 10 tips to consider adding to your own strategies. 1. Check your credit report. The 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, will give you a free credit report once a year if you request it. Take advantage of this to watch for accounts you've never opened and check activity on accounts you haven't used in a while. And the accounts you do use, watch your credit card account activity closely and check your bank statements often. Because the earlier you spot suspicious activity, the easier it will be to clean up. 2. Be unique. Take the time to create different passwords for all of your accounts. The idea is to create a system that's easy for you to remember, but impossible for others to guess. Here's one way to do it. Start by choosing a word you associate with the site you're on. So, if it's where you buy books, take the main character from a novel you love and pair it with your favorite color and the model or year of your first car. You can even make it harder for someone to crack by adding capital letters, symbols, using words that aren't in the dictionary, or making it a sentence. Oh, and one more thing. When it comes to usernames, make sure they're not obvious like your name or email, and avoid using your social security number whenever you can. 3. Mind your mailbox. Believe it or not, your mailbox can be a big threat to your financial security. Don't give thieves the opportunity to steal pre-approved credit card applications or those blank checks that come with credit card statements. And if you typically put outgoing mail in your mailbox, stop. A trip to the post office can prevent someone from stealing checks you've written to your creditors. Oh, speaking of the post office, it's a common tactic for thieves to reroute and steal mail by filling out change of address forms. So if you notice your mail service being interrupted, contact the post office right away. 4. Shred your trash. They're out there dumpster diving and trash picking. They're even raiding your garbage can and recycling bin, looking for social security numbers and account information. So buy a shredder and make it more challenging for them to get the goods on you. 5. Get smarter about being social. Okay, I know that times have changed, and social media has made it easy to get in touch with everyone. But putting every little detail about your life out there for the world to see gives the bad guys an advantage. You need to make it harder for thieves to answer personal questions about you. Stuff like your mom's maiden name, where you went to grammar school, or even your pet's name can help them figure out or reset your passwords. Even your birth date is something you should keep to yourself, because it's a key piece of information someone needs to steal your identity. And those geotagged photos? Well, they can make it awfully easy to find out where you live. So keep your personal information personal. 6. Be wary of strangers. Be suspicious of people who contact you looking for information. If someone calls or emails you from a bank, credit card company, collection agency, government agency, or just anywhere, don't give them your personal information. Tell them you'll call their 1-800 number and hang up. Never ever give out bank account numbers, your birth date, or social security number to anyone who reaches out to you. And that email from a long-lost relative about your big inheritance, or a notice about lottery money you've won? Yeah, that's probably a phishing scam looking for your information. 7. Look for the lock. If you're shopping online, be sure the address begins with HTTPS. The S tells you the site is secure. And don't forget to look for the little lock icon in the browser before you enter any payment information. 8. Build your fortress. Well, build a digital fortress around your devices anyway. It's important to maintain antivirus and anti-malware software on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. And when updates are pushed out, install them as quickly as you can. Oh, you should also avoid keeping all your financial info on your computer, and decline when a browser asks to remember your password on a financial site. 9. Secure yourself. Whether using your home Wi-Fi or a computer at the library, you need to take steps to secure your info. Start by password protecting your home's network. And when you log in on the go, especially to any of your financial accounts, don't do it on an open network. No, like the free one at your favorite coffee shop. And if you're using a shared computer, be sure to clear all your personal information when you log out. And 10. Enlist help. Sign up for alerts from your bank or credit card company to notify you when there is suspicious activity on your account. Well, there you have it. Add these steps together, and you've got a great jump on safeguarding your financial information. While there is no surefire way to keep it 100% safe, these basic tips can make you a tougher target for the bad guys. So the next time you see charges from a European adventure, well, you should have some fabulous memories to go along with them.
I really like the way that one ends. It's true. If you're seeing charges for a vacation, you certainly want to have at least enjoyed it. So some really good tips in there. I suggest, I know it went quickly. If any of that was too fast, feel free to stop the video here, go back and watch that video again. Really good advice. I work for a bank, and we get a lot of training in this, but I think ordinary folks don't realize how much of an effort identity thieves and fraudsters are making to access you and your money. Here's some additional easy steps you can take to protect your finances. First of all, don't carry these types of items in your wallet. You really never should carry your social security card. Keep that at home. Memorize the number, but don't give it to anybody. Spare keys are a bad idea. I mean, obviously, you're going to need to carry keys with you to get back into your home, but you don't want to necessarily carry extra keys unless for some reason you really need to have an extra set for some reason. Birth certificate, again, really never bring that anywhere with you unless you absolutely need to. Keep that home, keep that safe. Checkbook, if you know you're going to be writing a check or you have to give someone a check, fill the check out, bring that filled out check with you so it's made out to the person you want to make it out to. So really the only person that can cash it is the person that's supposed to. Don't write your passwords down and keep them on you. It's okay. I know it's hard to remember passwords. It's okay to write them down in your home and keep them somewhere safe, but you really don't want to bring them with you. And lastly, this is something that I see a lot of people making the mistake. Don't keep credit cards that you don't use in your wallet. You can keep those at home. When you need them, you go and get them. But if your wallet is taken from you and you only have the one credit card that you use a lot in there, well, it's a lot easier to cancel one card than multiple. And it's a lot easier to track one card to see if there were any fraudulent charges on it than, again, multiple. Let's jump to the next slide. Just as important as protecting your finances from physical loss or theft is ensuring your online financial safety. Here's some more steps to protect yourself online. Using strong passwords. We talked about this a little bit in the video. Don't use your name, your birthday, or any other easily identified personal information in your password. A strong password is a password that others won't be able to guess, but you'll still be able to remember, like your favorite book or a symbol that you remember, maybe a number code that's not your birthday. Watch how much you share online. Don't give out or share personal information online. I just thought of something, Facebook, your birthday's on there, but your birth year is not. So, knowing someone's day is not nearly as dangerous as someone that has your date along with the year. Lock your phone, if possible, use it and then lock it with a passcode whenever you're not using it. Try not to keep any sensitive information on your phone. Look, there's going to be some sensitive information on there, but things that you can avoid. Don't keep your social security number on there. Don't keep any financial account numbers on there. Certainly not passwords. Lastly, keep your technology up to date. A lot of phone updates are really there to improve your phone's security, fixing bugs, but also addressing security vulnerabilities that the manufacturer has found. Another key part of financial safety is knowing how to recognize a fraudulent email, commonly known as a scam, so you don't give away any personal information to a thief. If you get an email, text, or even a phone call that includes any of these elements, these are known as phishing, smishing, or vishing, respectively. They're a red flag that suggests it's likely a scam. Not maybe, it's probably a scam. Anyone demanding urgent or immediate action. For example, you receive an email from someone who urgently needs money wired to them. Anything that's coming from an odd or unfamiliar source, such as an email address that you don't recognize or an address that's overly complicated and long. Anything that doesn't use your name or uses a name that's not yours. An email with misspelled words in the body. If an email has many typos and strange grammar, this is a red flag. Any email that asks you to verify your personal or financial information, for example, a security number, a social security number, or an account number. I'm going to pause here for a second. I work for a bank. We never call our clients and ask them to verify. Now, if you call in, we will ask to verify information, but we're never going to call out and start asking you questions about yourself. If we're calling you, it's because it's an emergency, and we're going to make sure that we're calling the right number and we're talking to the right person in the first place. Any call that you get, or excuse me, an email that you get that tells you not to call back or doesn't provide a phone number, big red flag. Lastly, an email with strange URLs, including links that are shortened and don't display the full address, red flag. So if you experience any of these, you should not give away any personal information or click on any of the links in the email. If you need money fast, you may be tempted to take out a short-term loan. Unfortunately, there are many deals out there that sound too good to be true because they are too good to be true. First, payday loans. Many payday lenders will offer you money immediately, but charge a fixed fee that is often very high. Each time you renew the loan, the interest charge is usually multiplied. So it doesn't take long for the interest charges and fees to exceed the loan amount. Super low interest rates. Read the fine print. A low interest rate charged during the first few months will often rise after a certain date, and it will usually go much higher. Interest-free financing. Similar to super low interest rates, after a certain period, any late or missed payments can trigger fees and back interest. Guaranteed returns. This is a big red flag. You should always research the company's business and products before investing. It's understandable that interest-free financing, payday loans, attractive high returns all sound like great alternatives or something that feels like maybe your only option. However, it's better to stick with safer and less costly alternatives, such as loans from your credit union, bank, credit card company, or another financial institution. Now that we've discussed the various forms of identity theft, scams, and payday loans, let's review the different ways you can protect yourself from it. Be safe online. Do not share personal information on social media and only use trusted Wi-Fi's. 2, check your credit report. A credit report contains your credit history. Lenders will look at it to see if you are reliable with credit. You should check your credit report once a year. You can go to TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax to get a copy of your credit report, and they are required to give you a free copy of your credit every 12 months. Watch your mailbox. It's a good idea to get a mailbox with a lock so thieves can't steal your mail and access your personal information by stealing bank statements, bills, or other documents with your personal and financial information on them. Another idea I'll say right here, try to go paperless. If you're comfortable using the internet, stop accepting mail from your financial providers. Most of them at this point are actually encouraging our customers to stop taking mail for this very reason. Another good step is shredding your personal papers. These thieves will try anything to get their hands on your personal information, including going through your trash. Before you throw out any mail or paper with your personal information on it, like a bank account or credit card statement, shred it. Last, always be wary of strangers. We tell our kids the same thing. Don't talk to strangers. Don't give any personal information to people that you don't know well. If you get a call from someone saying they're a bank, hang up. Verify that the phone number is in fact your bank's phone number, or just hang up and call your bank. If you have the number, call them directly and see if they've called you or contacted you for some reason. So as we discussed, there are steps you can take to protect yourself financially. However, sometimes bad things happen. So you should always know what to do if your wallet is lost or stolen. First, call your bank. Cancel or put an alert on every card that was lost or stolen. Second, really important, file a police report. Let them know what was in your wallet and what you were missing. Keep a copy of this report for your records. Third, immediately, or as soon as you covered the first two, contact a credit bureau. A credit bureau is a company that collects information relating to your credit, which credit card companies and banks can access. As we discussed earlier, you don't want thieves to take your money or ruin your credit that you've been building. So call TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian to file a fraud report on your credit report. Really important stuff. It can take a lot of work to protect your finances if your wallet is lost or stolen, but having your identity stolen can take even more work to fix. If identity theft happens to you, here's what to do right away. Just as you would if your wallet was stolen, you should file an initial fraud alert with at least one credit reporting agency, Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. Put a credit freeze on file with these credit reporting agencies. A credit freeze is when you restrict access to your credit report, which makes it harder for a criminal to open an account with your stolen information, because creditors usually need to see your credit report before they approve an account. Review your credit report and note any detail that isn't yours. Report any inaccurate information back to the credit agency. File an identity theft report with the Federal Trade Commission. You can Google that, or you can also, I'll give you the phone number for the Federal Trade Commission, is 202-326-2222. As we said earlier, file a police report so you have a record of the theft and you can possibly prevent others from having their personal information stolen. So let's take a look at a video to review what we just discussed.
Identity theft isn't just a case of account fraud where someone steals your credit card information. When your identity is stolen, a criminal can use your social security number to get a job, rent an apartment, or even take out a loan. And do it all in your name. In some cases, criminals are even filing tax returns in victims' names and taking their tax refunds. A victim of identity theft could go months before they even notice that something strange is going on. The tip-off could be a past due notice in the mail or a phone call from a collection agency about debt that isn't theirs. By that point, a lot of damage could have been done. If you notice something wrong, the most important thing is to act quickly. Identity theft is becoming pretty common, but it's still a hard crime for authorities to track, so most victims have to be very proactive in getting their identity back under their control. Think about it this way. You're going to be your own best detective on the case. So let's go through the steps you'll need to take to get your finances and credit back under your control. The first step to take as soon as you suspect identity theft is to file what's called an initial fraud alert with a credit reporting agency. Businesses have to check your credit report to open new lines of credit. So if they see there's a fraud alert on your report, they may try to contact you to verify your identity before doing so, which will make it harder for a criminal to open a new account in your name. To file an alert, you can call one of the 3 major credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, and tell a representative that you're an identity theft victim and want to place an initial fraud alert on your file. It actually doesn't matter which one you call, because whichever one you choose is required to notify the other 2. It's free, and the alert will stay on your account for 90 days. For even more protection, you might also want to put a credit freeze on file with all 3 credit reporting agencies. A credit freeze means that no creditors, like a bank or a business that offers store credit cards, can look at your report without your permission. This can make it harder for a criminal to open a new account in your name. You can lift a credit freeze at any time, or lift it temporarily so someone you authorize can look at your report. In most states, setting up a credit freeze is often free for victims of identity theft, or there may be a small fee, $10 or so. The length of a freeze also varies by state. You can visit your state's Attorney General's office website for more details. To request a credit freeze, you'll need to contact each of the 3 credit reporting agencies. After you've set up an initial fraud report and put a credit freeze on file as well, the next step is to start going through your credit reports. Your initial fraud report allows you to get free access to your credit reports from the 3 credit reporting agencies. Contact each one for instructions on how to get a copy of your report. You can also do this when you set up your credit freeze. Look over each report carefully and note any detail that isn't yours. Then, before you dig into the problems you may find, you'll want to file an identity theft report to let federal and local authorities know about the crime. The report will help you get fraudulent info removed from your credit report and can stop businesses and collection agencies from coming after you for debts that aren't yours. Filing an identity theft report is a 2-part process. First, you can file a report with the Federal Trade Commission. That's the government agency that looks out for consumers and helps protect them from fraud. You can do this online at ftccomplaintassistant.gov. Once you complete the report online, you'll get an FTC identity theft affidavit, which you can print for your records. Then you'll need to file a police report. You can do this in person at your local police precinct, or you may be able to do this online. It's a good idea to call ahead to see what kind of documents you'll need to bring with you to the station to prove your identity and complete the report. Once you make your report, ask for a copy and record the police report number. Your FTC identity theft affidavit and your police report together make a complete identity theft report. Now that you're armed with your identity theft report, you're ready to take on each fraudulent item you found in your credit report. For each fraud, you'll need to file a dispute with the fraud department of each credit reporting agency and contact any lenders or collection agencies involved. This part of the process can mean a lot of phone calls, and in some cases, it can take a lot of time. It's a good idea to keep a written record of each call you make, noting the date and time, as well as the name of each person you speak with and any instructions they give you so you can take the next steps. The FTC also has many helpful resources for this part of the process, like checklists and instructions for how to dispute different claims at ftc.gov. At this point, You can also place an extended fraud alert on file with each of the credit reporting agencies. An extended fraud alert is free and lasts for 7 years. It will allow you to get 2 free copies of your credit report each year, so you can keep on top of any new suspicious activity. And one more thing. There are more credit reporting agencies than just the big 3. There are also many smaller local or regional ones that could have reports of other fraudulent activity in your name. So it's a good idea to check your local listings for other agencies and file fraud alerts with them as well. Getting your life and your credit score back after an identity theft can be a challenge. Guarding your personal information carefully, especially your Social Security number, can help you avoid identity theft in the future.
So I hope that was helpful. Again, like the other video, I'd say if it went by quickly, feel free to pause and go back and review it again. There's a lot of good information in there. But let's review what we learned today. So first, don't keep personal information or credit cards that you don't need in your wallet or your purse. Only keep cards with you that you use regularly. Second, be safe online. Don't share personal information online and use strong passwords. Third, look out for scams. Possible scams could include payday loans, suspicious emails, and people asking you for personal information over the phone, online, or even in person. Fourth, know what to do if you're a victim of a scam or identity theft, including how to put a credit freeze on file. So that wraps up our session today on financial safety. Please post any questions you have to the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for joining us, and please tune in for more videos like this one to help you take control of your money and get ahead in 2021.